Hey folks, that Fix-It guy here. Today we're going to be replacing a toilet flange. A friend of mine asked me to come over, pull his toilet. He wanted a wax ring changed. I actually wasn't even going to shoot a video for it, but when I pulled it off, I noticed that the toilet flange was bad, and so I said, let's go ahead. I got a pretty good method for changing out a toilet flange, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys today. I've seen people crawl under houses to chop out the pipe to replace the flange. I've seen people take sawzalls and different stuff to flanges. I'm just going to show you the way that I replace a flange today. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it, and let's get to fixing. Okay, so the tools we'll be using today is a corded drill. We're going to be using this inside pipe cutter. I got this one at the supply house from Raptor. I'll post a link in the description below for one that I find. They're all pretty much the same. This is what you'll be using if you're going to be installing a spigot style flange. So if you can see the top of the pipe whenever you look down inside of the flange, then you're going to end up using an inside cutter. If not, well, there'll be a different video at another time for a different way that I do other ones. It's just a different set of tools. I'll use the old trusty, awesome Harbor Freight big boy. You know, I like to pound on it. You can see by the marks there. Flathead screwdriver always comes in handy for a lot of different things. We're gonna need a file to file down the edges after we end up cutting the flange off, just to make sure it fits smooth. Always seem to end up using a pair of channel locks in plumbing. These tongue and grooves, they're great. Always use a 6-in-1 too. These two tools right here, probably your main setup. We're gonna be using utility knife. We'll be using some ABS cement glue. You know, just make sure it's for ABS. If you're dealing with PVC, make sure you're dealing with PVC glue and primer. ABS glue, you don't need primer with it. You're gonna need some 1.5-inch screws. I like to go with a little bit bigger head, so these are number 10s. You don't have to use washers or anything to screw the flange in. And then also, that just was great. Also a toilet bolt kit. So you're gonna need some toilet bolts, you know, and it comes with some washers and it comes with some nuts to screw it on. Okay, so this is the toilet flange. You can see all the rust. They're pretty gnarly. And so what we're gonna do here is we wanna block the drain off, and I'll show you how I do this. I like to start with some gloves. We don't worry about cleaning the floor because we'll clean the floor after. But what I'll do is I'll just take this rag out of here. We're gonna use that still, but I like to just put it in a garbage bag. Something that I can be able to get out later, and just stick that right down, all the way down in there, and just keep that to where you can actually grab it, and deep down enough to where it's going to be able to actually store some shavings here. Okay, so when we find something like this, what I like to do is actually just take this flange and cut it right off, right around this, and then I can remove that whole thing and just get all the nasty out of there. So we're gonna take an inside cutter. See this bad boy? I'm gonna hook this up to our drill. I just got a plugged in drill. You can probably use a cordless too, it's just gonna take a while. I just hook her up to the old Milwaukee. Always put on safety glasses. Okay, so then we'll just take our drill and just go right down to the edge of the pipe, and then we'll just start. Just kind of apply some pressure to the side and it'll start itself. And then once you get it started, you just go around it clockwise, and it'll just follow it around. It's a little bit of a process, but it works out in the end. You're gonna get some big gobs of ABS pipe because it gets hot and so it melts down. And you just wanna get that out of your way. So just take a utility knife and go around it and just kind of cut it off. Okay. We'll just go around one more time just to make sure that it's through. You can go around both clockwise and counterclockwise. Just follow how the drill wants to roll. Okay. seems like it's setting pretty good. And so then I just kind of see what we got here. And I've got a little breakage there. Try to grab the channel locks now. So we just kind of ground that off. We got this exposed below. Definitely got a little movement on the pipe, so that'll be fine. And then we'll just see where this is actually still buckled down to. Just be careful to try to get all of it out. And all this is going to actually come out once we grab that out of there. But we just want to see about getting this off. Okay, so we've got that ring off. And we'll just take our file and we're going to go right around the edge of this. So we're going to make sure that all the edges around this are smooth. So then we'll wipe this down on the outside. We'll get it all hooked up. Take this and just wipe this down on the inside. We'll dry fit it, make sure it works. This flange, it's a spigot flange. It goes over the outside of a hub. So whereas this old flange actually went down over the pipe, this is designed to actually go over the hub. So we'll take this and we'll get it down there and just see if it goes down. There we go. Look at that. So now we just need to get it back out one more time so we can glue it. Now we'll just take some glue. You want to make sure the whole thing is coated just like the inside of the pipe. And then we'll get this one hooked up inside. Just do the same thing. Just coat it evenly. Get it coated the whole way around. Just get her on there. And give it a quarter turn spin. And just hold it down, make sure it stays in place. So now, I like to pull this out. We can throw that away. And then any sharp edges that were on this flange, we can just take a little bit of glue and just go right around the top edge of that. Just cover up those rough spots. There really wasn't too many, but I just like to give it a little go around the inside of that. And we'll let that dry. While we're letting that dry, we'll actually get the flange set up and screwed in place. The new bolt setup is actually going to be 2 bolts. It's going to be 2 washers. It's going to be 2 nuts to go on. But I like to save the old ones. Then I like to actually secure the bolts to the flange with the old ones. So these ones actually are going to secure to the top, but these ones right here, they're going to secure to the... So we'll just take this, you just take these into this little bracket right here and just go all the way to the end and tighten it down. Same thing. And then there, we'll just pull out the channel locks. We'll give them just a little bit of a tight, just kind of keep them in place. See, it likes to spin. And we'll just get that tightened down. And so now we're able to spin that wherever we want it. And that right there. So now we can take it and make sure that it's straight by grabbing a tape measure, 13 7/8 and 13 7/8. Perfect. And then we'll grab the 6 screws that are going to go into the flange. Okay, so that's how I do a flange. You're not always gonna end up using that spigot style of flange. Different ones call for different instances, and not a big deal. Like, you got this, you can tackle it. If I can do it, you can do it. That really is probably gonna be my motto on this channel. Besides that, and let's fix this, or let's get to fixing something. If you can please subscribe to the channel, click the like button. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, and as always, have a great evening.